Hey guys, I am in my barn, in my office, where it's a little quieter, to just thank you all so much for buying our Winterscape sheep felting kit. I partnered up with Mariposa. I'm so excited. They did such a good job with all the wool, and we have a pretty cool Christmas line, and this is one of the beautiful creations that Cherie made. And she will be doing the instructions for you guys so you can follow along. I know I will be following along. So I hope you enjoy it. I am going to be trying this out very shortly as well. This is so exciting. Thank you guys so much for purchasing it, and enjoy!
Welcome to our winter sheep felting kit. Let's just get started by applying some colors. First we'll use the light blue. To indicate the hill at the back. So what we're going to do is just lay out these colors and then we'll felt them down. Using a little bit of white just to show the edge of that hill, and the white to indicate the front hill that the sheep will be standing on. So these hills have a little bit of a curve to them, and you'll be able to refine that as you're felting them down with your needle. So basically what we're doing is just putting the color down on the mat, and then we'll anchor it down. So using your needle, just poke it in where you want it to be, a sharp edge or a refined line. Just use your needle to shape those fibers. So you just want to anchor everything down. You don't have to poke very deep into the mat. If you do, then your fibers will disappear into your styrofoam, which is not ideal. So you can move the fibers around with your needle, kind of brush it, comb it, push them around. But you want to get all these fibers anchored down before you go into putting any kind of detail. So you're building your background. Though the mat already has a gradient, that kind of gives you a little bit of a head start. So now that you have your hills established and your color definition, just add a little bit of cloud to the sky. We'll work on that moon. So we want a soft ring around it. So we'll just add the fibers in a small bits. We've created a little ball. You take a small bit of fiber, roll it into a ball, and then we're just going to create that more opaque center of the moon. And then just leave the lighter, more feathered edges as the ring around the moon. So just keep in mind, right now we're just building our background. So to keep that feathered edge or very wispy lines in your fibers, you can change the direction of your needle. Because if you just poke in one direction, you're going to create a line. So if you want the fibers to lay down in a more spread out kind of way, then you need to change the angle of your needle. Small, tiny bits. So less is more when we're wanting a wispy edge or a thinner, more transparent look. And very shallow poking when you're working with those thinner areas so that you don't create sharp lines. So the next part of our background are the trees. So we'll take a small bit and then divide that roving into little slivers so we can have slender trees. So I take a bit with my fingers and I roll it to make the line a bit more manageable. And just anchoring it down at the end, and then giving a little tug. So I am working upside down so that I can have a tapered edge, the edge of my trees. So make a plan. You have 3 trees. Just divide your mat into thirds and just put them in the center of that. Taking small bits, rolling it with my fingers, then anchor it down and tug a bit so I can have a straight line. And as I'm tugging, I'm poking as I go. So I'll do that with all the branches as well. Anchor it down and giving a little tug, using very small bits of fiber. Then you create your tree. So you don't have to worry about leaves or anything, because this is the winter scene, so it's going to be bare trees. Taking very small bits, rolling in my fingers, anchoring it down where it would be the thickest part, and pulling so it tapers off. If you're not sure how many branches or how many little twigs to put on, just use your reference photo. So we're just going to do a little simplistic shadow. It's definitely simplistic. So make sure that it's thinner though than your tree. Or it will look like an extension of your tree, or maybe your tree is taller. You want it to look like a shadow. So making it thinner will help with that. And anchoring it down and giving a little tug so it tapers off. And then turn it right back, right side up. And we'll work on the next elements. So our sheep are next. So what we'll do is take about 4 inches of fiber, just roll it. We're just going to create a little ball, kind of a flat ball though. And then we'll just start finding the shape, just going around the outside edges to find the shape of our sheep. And you want to anchor all of it down. It's fine to felt the top and all. What we'll do is just create all 3. So taking about 4 inches, rolling it, And then we'll make that rectangle into a circle. As you notice, I'm changing the direction of my needle. So that I'm not creating pockets. So again, we're making the third sheep. And we're using the white to create the base for all of these. Once we've established our shape and position of our sheep, we'll move on to the next part. So taking just a small bit and rolling it again to form the muzzle. Just poke around that shape that you want it to be, tucking in. So you have a nice oval shape. Take another small bit, roll it in your fingers just to have a more manageable line. And we're just going to start to create those ears right off the top of the head. If you have some extra fiber, then you can just use it to create the other elements, the ears. So the sheep to the right, just going to add a bit of gray to him. And as you've noticed that I'm using very small bits, and I'm just rotating my needle around and just adding those fibers to the white. Just trying to avoid the muzzle and the ears. It's going to take a little bit of layering so that the gray will be noticeable. And don't forget the top. Still using small bits and just moving the fibers around with your needle, pushing them in place. So let's just create some legs here. Using the black, starting with the more tapered, thinner side of the roving. Starting at the top and going down the leg. If you need to tuck it, that's fine too. So applying the legs are just like the trees. So you take a bit, roll it in your fingers, anchor one side, and then pull it. It's less pulling because the fibers are shorter, because the shape that you're creating is shorter. So our last shape, this has a brown face. Just as before, we will roll the fibers in our fingers and create the muzzle. I added a bit too much of the fiber, so I just divided it at the top so I could create the ears. It's going to take a bit of refinement. Just going to be tucking those in, tucking the brown to give the definition of the ear. Add a bit more white at the top so we can have the back of the sheep just as the others. So giving a bit of brownness to the sheep, just taking small bits of fiber and applying it on top of the white. Don't forget his legs. Tiny bits, rolling it. Anchoring it down, giving a little tug. And whatever you don't need, you can just pinch and pull off. Make sure that you put some tension on what's already felted so that you don't pull up what you're working on. I'm going to give the sheep legs a little bit of a shadow, just as we did the tree. Small bits, anchor it down, give a little tug. So adding a bit of the winter decoration, just a little bit of holly. We'll just take a small bit, roll it in our fingers, just as we did the other tapered elements. Poke and pull. And don't forget to pull your mat from the foam every once in a while. It does tend to get stuck. Give some leaf indications. It's not super detailed, just wanting to give some indication of leaves. So just taking small bits. I'm just holding it over the area where I'm felting down a bit, and then I'll pull it away. So just adding small little red balls, holly berries. So if you notice, I'll take small pieces, anchor it down, and then I'll roll it with my needle, kind of twisting it up in the needle, and that will help to create a little ball. Anchor it down, roll it, and then there's the ball. I hope you enjoyed your time felting, and I hope you continue to do it. Have fun. Thanks for watching Mariposa Wool & Mill Felting Basics and Kit Instruction video. So continue felting, and to replenish your felting needs, come visit us at the farm market or online at the link on your screen. Stay tuned for more felting fun.